In the latest addition to games we never thought would be as popular as they are, here's Helldivers 2, setting records and being a fan favorite in just a matter of weeks. But why is it this popular? What makes it stand out from other games? Well, that's what I like to talk about in this video. Hello and welcome, fellow virgins. It is I, Super Virgin here, and today I'd like to talk about why Helldivers 2 is so popular. Let me ask that question again. Why is Helldivers 2 so popular? I mean, when you look at it from a gameplay / game mechanics perspective, there's not a whole lot there. Your character can walk, run, shoot their gun, aim, maybe dolphin, dive, and call in stratagems. So, not a whole lot. And yet, I'm hooked to this horde shooter. It gives me something unique, and it also shows why other horde shooters throughout the years have failed to meet the same standards. First, I think its price tag is definitely something that is going to convince a lot more people to buy the game. $40 tends to be an easier sale than $60 for the same exact game, meaning a lot more people are gonna buy. Then there it is, right in your face when you start up the game. That intro cinematic that we all just know and love. It's pure propaganda and a clear satire of being part of some sort of sci-fi fascist world. It's a lot like Starship Troopers. I mean, hell, I think every single video, news article, and ever mention of this game has already said that this is basically just Starship Troopers, the game, but good. But that's just it. The game simply throws you into this world, and everything from that point on is built perfectly. We have the soundtrack, the voice line.
How about a nice cup of liver tea? Say hello to democracy!
The costumes, that intro cinematic, everything is built just there to push that idea of what and who you are and in what world you live in. So honestly, I gotta say hats off for the insane world building that this game has and that these devs have done. Every little aspect of the game is there to just put that little bit of extra in there, right? It's beautiful, it's perfect, and it really builds this world and builds immersion when you're playing the game. Not to mention just how beautiful this game is. I mean, it's insane how many little details are in the game, like the little attentions to detail that are put into the graphics. We have blood and particles flying around. They can hit your cape. Your cape can get scratched at the bottom if you're fighting a lot. It's insane how that is all part of the game on top of what's already all going on there, which I'll be talking about a bit later. But then you also have just the sheer beauty of the fauna and flora on the planets. And I'm not talking about the aliens, because the aliens themselves and their designs are really cool. But when you look at just the planet itself, what is on the planet when you're walking around, is also really well done. When something gets bombed by a stratagem, the whole floor, the whole ground goes up into nothingness, and it's just a hole in the ground. You actually make holes in the world, and it's really special how this is all put into this game. Again, these little attentions to detail. That the funny part about that and how good it looks is just the fact that it doesn't take a long time to load. Most of the times when you're starting up a game and you're actually starting to load up a mission, it takes less than 30 seconds to get flown into this mission, and voila, you're playing the game. A transition from gameplay from like the main menu / where you're choosing your mission to the actual gameplay is also really well done, really cool. You're flying into this mission, and then bam, you're landing, voila, that's it. It's small, it's a little detail, but again, it's that world building and it's those little attentions to detail and graphics that really sell this stuff. Now, that's not to say that there's no performance issues or bugs in the game. You know, I play on my PC here, but I also play on my laptop because I have a dorm, I study, and on my laptop I have had pretty much a couple of times where the game would go below 30 FPS, which can be very annoying. Here on my PC, I have yet to see that happen, but my FPS sometimes tends to drop, but this is when there's hordes of bugs on like the highest difficulty, and it's just everything's going on. There's multiple stratagems, explosions here, gunshots there, fucking bodies flying everywhere. It's insane. I understand that like it needs to be fixed, but I also kind of understand why my game would run slower in those situations. But in most cases, even that is handled surprisingly well. There's just so many bugs in the game, no pun intended, but none of them are really game breaking. I have like personally yet to find a single one where I had to restart my game or I had to just do something to fix it. I've seen a bug where, for instance, you don't see the cross when you're hitting something. Simply switching from perspective or switching gun fixes that. I've had a bug where my weapon didn't reload properly. I've had problems in the UI where there's a little bug there, but nothing that really makes me go, well, can't play now because of this, or I have to restart my game. As I'm recording this, I have about 15 to 16 hours in the game, which isn't a lot of time. I understand that compared to some people. The thing about it is I have seen so many small little bugs here and there that it is kind of weird that in such little playtime I have seen as many bugs as I have. And then there's a friend of mine who's been upgrading his PC. He's been trying to do possible fixes, but he keeps crashing no matter what. I think yesterday was actually the first time he was able to play for a long amount of time. He's not going to be the only one, right? There are still people out there who crash the entire time, and that's what every single game that's going to be a problem. With a high-end PC like him, I don't understand how that is a thing. As I was mentioning before, in the graphics, the game has so much attention to detail, but it is not just in the graphics. There's also other different parts where that attention to detail is still there. And like I always say when I drop down my pants, it's the little things that count. Chargers, a certain enemy type from the Terminates, can hit each other and actually stun each other by smacking their heads. An explosion can sometimes not kill you, but then send you flying, and if you hit a wall too hard, you die from literally impact. The game even tells you this. You can dolphin dive from certain heights, and your character just starts ragdolling because this isn't a dolphin dive anymore. It's just done at that point. There's so many different little attentions to detail when it comes to the way the game works. You running around and your gun actually switching around a little bit, so if you go in first person, you can control it a lot better. I could go on, but these things are genuinely what makes this game like stand out. If you strip all these little attentions to detail, not just graphically, but just every little attention to detail, and you just put them away, it just becomes a bland horde shooter, like something like Back 4 Blood, which flopped because of that reason, because it was just so bland. So, you know, that like what I'm trying to put into words is that everything combined is what makes this game shine as much as it does, and what all has us so addicted to fighting for democracy. Another thing that I actually personally really love is the fact that there's someone who's like a game master. They're called Joel, and he has control over all these enemies you have. So for instance, there was a time where he would have to wake up at night because the automatons were losing, and he wanted to like help them out, send them reinforcements. So he made everything a lot more difficult, put a lot more enemies there, and so they started winning from us again. This is also noticeable because if anyone who's watching right now has played from the very beginning, in the beginning we were just dropping everything and everyone. Like all these aliens were nothing against us, but then all of a sudden they started fighting back, and it was like we were actually struggling and had to do certain missions, and that was so cool about it. I find it weird that this is new, that this is something that no other game has ever done. Like, why has this not been done in other games, just to create a more feeling of uniqueness and like timed events? Right now we're in a world where AI seems to be controlling so much, and everything's starting to rely on AI, because then you can just, you know, do nothing and just relax while the AI does its work. But this is so cool to actually have someone or a team of people who try to like fight back as sort of gods in their world in a certain game. I can't really think of a game right now where this could also benefit them, but I still find it weird that no game has done this whatsoever. Now, let's say you still haven't bought the game. Why not? Do you not want to fight for democracy? Would you rather end up like this?
Sweet liberty! No!
Well, if not, gather up the strength and courage, and of course your wallet, and become a Helldiver today, fighting for democracy. Now, of course, this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's a bit of a shorter one compared to what I usually do, but I didn't have that much to talk about. I just really like the game. As always, leave a like and your opinion in the comments down below. I want to know what you guys think of the game or what you think of this video. Are you enjoying Helldivers 2? Are you not convinced yet on playing the game, even despite my little propaganda speech just now? I'd love to hear it. Also, I'm a small channel, so if you're new to this and if you haven't seen any of my videos, I'd really like to ask you to subscribe. I know it sounds a bit weird that I'm asking it this way, but I understand that small channels can be associated with lower quality content. But I can assure you, if you did like the quality of this video, it's going to be the same, if not better, throughout my upcoming videos. And it's also the same in my previous videos. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.